Hello there, greetings everyone. So good to be here with you again. It has been quite some time, a little over a month, maybe a month and a half since I had opportunity to sit and do a video. So I'm so excited to be back in action. Had some good transitions going on in my personal life, so I needed to take a pause for a little bit. But I wanted to take the time today just to kind of pick up where we left off. For those of you who are first-time viewers, I encourage you to take the time and to go to my YouTube channel and take that opportunity to look at the videos that I have done prior to what we're going to discuss today. But take opportunity to look at some of those videos and kind of catch up with what I've been sharing and where we're at. Actually, the past few videos came from this book, which we're going to continue in today, Understanding the Mission. And this is an awesome handbook on faith-based caregiving. It's almost like a how-to for first-time caregivers. Also, it's just a book full of testimonials to provide hope for individuals who may be in the caregiving situation and they might be feeling a sense of burnout, or they just don't have any hope and they're looking for answers. And there's many things that I believe God's shared with me in my time of being a caregiver and in my time in senior care that have come out in my books that I've written that I think would benefit people. And so that's part of the reason why I've got this YouTube channel up and rolling, so that people know that there's answers out there, there's help out there, and there's hope. So what I would like to do is kind of go over briefly, just read to you some of the chapters that I discussed in the last few videos that I had. And so we started off by talking about the office of the elder, which is so important, knowing the office and the position they hold from a spiritual sense, also in a natural sense, as far as their position in society, and knowing those matriarchs and patriarchs and just how important that is to God and how important it is to us as a family unit. We also talked about from that how the blessing flows from our elders and from that office, and how it flows onto families, onto caregivers, just by taking that time to minister to their needs. And I shared in that a little bit about the blessing of Abraham and how it's very, very similar on how the blessing flows. Then we went on to talk about our attitude and how that determines our altitude, or determines the success we have in caregiving situations. And I do want to say that these tips and testimonies that I do provide in these videos, yes, they mainly gear towards those who are seniors, or those who provide care for seniors, specifically those with Alzheimer's and dementia. But really, a lot of these tips and testimonies can be used in any kind of caregiving situation. I'm not going to guarantee you that they're going to work for you exactly how they worked for me, but I will assure you that when there's a faith-based approach taken to providing care for someone, or I should say when you seek God's help and his wisdom, you're more likely to be successful. And so I do want to just clarify that this can be used in most any caregiving situations, because I know there's lots out there. So today we're going to continue with being what I call the mediator, kind of being that go-between person, even like an intercessor, and being the hands and the heart and the feet and even the mouthpiece sometimes of God. And that is such an honor, to be chosen, first of all, by God. You all are chosen with the gifts and the talents that God's put in you specifically to be a caregiver. That's not an easy thing for a lot of people. And so just know that it's very special opportunity, very special assignment. And so when we are chosen by God to provide um, or to perform such an assignment, we have to know that it's God who is using us, and we then become his feet, his hands, his mouthpiece. And what I mean by that is God has obviously gifted you and others watching in the area of caregiving, and he needs you. He's moved upon your heart and moving on others' hearts to be an answer to those seniors out there, to those people in whatever caregiving situation, to be an answer to them. So if you're physically capable of helping someone with their activities of daily living, whether it's bathing, showering, same thing, toileting, dressing, even helping prepare meals or do things around the house, cleaning, those type of things. People don't take those things lightly when they receive help in that area. And when people's hearts cry, when a senior's heart's desire, or maybe a family member of a senior, they're praying for someone to come in and be that help, someone to come in who has the patience, who has those skills to work with their loved one. That's God. That's God that's working in us. One of my favorite scriptures, and I don't have the exact reference to come to mind right now, but I do know that it says that it's God that works in us both to will and to do of his good pleasure. And so when God works in us, and when we know that he's given us an assignment for the elders, and we know God's heart for the elders, or whatever caregiving situation you're in, you know that it's him that's moving in you. That it's God telling you, if you seek his help, and if you are, filled with the Holy Spirit, then you know that you can hear God and see God and know what to say and know how to respond in certain situations and know how to do certain things. Now, don't get me wrong. It is important that for those seniors who are still able to do certain things for themselves, that they have that sense of independence, and that we encourage them to do what they can as they can, because we want them to use it so they don't lose it. We want them to feel as independent as possible, but we don't want to necessarily fully take over. But there are many situations where they aren't able to do certain things, and we as caregivers can, with God's help. And I just want to read just a little section of this chapter to you all. And it says, sometimes as caregivers, we take on the role of mediator, and mediators serve as a go-between. A mediator can also be referred to as an intercessor, a person who steps in on behalf of another, particularly in prayer. One of the things I enjoy most in my mission as a caregiver is being able to be the hands, feet, and even mouthpiece at times for elders. I'm not suggesting always doing everything for them. That takes away from their sense of independence and can cause loss of their abilities quicker due to lack of usage. What I'm implying is that there are times when, once we know the heart of those we are serving, we can assist them in areas where cognition has been lost. So that essentially kind of just reiterates what I started off saying at the beginning of this video. It's a blessing and it's an honor to be used by God and to be able to be his hands, his feet, and even his mouthpiece. There's times when I had opportunity to sit down and do devotions with some of my seniors, those who were in an Alzheimer's community, and we had opportunity to pray, and many of them, because of the phase of Alzheimer's that they were in, could no longer really verbalize or put complete sentences together. And so I would lead the prayer, and to have opportunity to pray for their family and their friends, for our country, for their health and well-being. I know that most of the things that I prayed they would have, if they could, prayed themselves. And so to be able to pray those things and have them just to be in agreement on those issues or whatever we had been praying for at the time, that's a way to be that mediator, and another way to kind of be the mouthpiece of God. And it blesses them, because though they may have those challenges, their spirits are very much alive and well. And like I said, if they could still function in that in those abilities, they would, and they would pray, and they would want to pray for their families like maybe they once would. But to have us as caregivers, specifically those who are Christian caregivers, to be able to pray with those who we provide care for, and pray for them, those things are needful, and it's another way for God to use us. So I'm excited to have opportunity just to talk and share again with you all. I look forward to the next time we meet. I encourage you to share this video. There's all kinds of situations going on out there, and people are looking for hope. So share. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and so that you will be informed and know when the next videos are coming up. And make sure to like it as well. I will leave a link in the description box to my website, Paraclete Senior Care. That way, if you would like a copy of this book and the others I have available, or if you need other resources, then you can go through, get to those through my website at paracleteseniorcare.com. So once again, thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to our next talk. And remember, the memory of the just is blessed. God bless, and bye-bye.